This is the Sony Xperia TX, also known as the GX and the T. The model number is Lt29i. It is the newest release from Sony in the Xperia line and will be featured in the upcoming James Bond Skyfall movie. So the biggest selling point about this phone is probably the 13 megapixel camera right there on the back. By default, however, it only shoots 10 megapixel photos, though you can change that in your camera app. Below it we have the LED flash, and right below that you've got a little sticker indicating that's where the NFC detector is. Honestly, near field communications is a function that I probably will never use as just the average consumer. Now you can also see from the shape that this does follow the standard arc design by Sony, keeping with the times, keeping with their status quo. Now let's just go around the phone. On the left side of the phone, right here, we've got the unlock button, which also serves as the power on, power off. On the bottom, we have the microphone hole here, and on the other side, we've got a camera shortcut switch, which will open up the camera application immediately. So let's just hold it down, and yes, I am holding this upside down. There we go. It opens up the camera and immediately takes a shot. Now, another way you can get into the camera app is you can click on the unlock and you can drag, instead of left to right, which would open up your home screen, you can drag from right to left, which will open up your camera app again. Now, the reason that this area here is blacked out is because I have it set for 13 megapixels. When you have 13 megapixels, due to the just the aspect ratio of the photograph, you're going to have sort of a more squarish shape. If you, however, want to have more of a wide shot, you can set it to 10 megapixels, which will give you a 16 by 9 and let you use the entire screen as the photo area. Now, this new Xperia does not have any actual physical buttons on the front surface that you can click. So if you want to get back to your home page, you're going to see at the bottom of the screen here, there's 3 dots. Now, if you just click over that once, it'll pop open a home, a back, and your task manager, which will show you whatever's open. Whatever's open on the phone right now, which for me is not too many things. Now, let's go to the home screen. The home screen is locked into portrait mode at all times. If you rotate it, doesn't matter. Hold on, let me just lower the brightness of the camera. I can see things a little bit more clearly. You're locked into having 5 home screens. You can't change that unless you root the phone. Something I don't like, because on the Samsung line it's a lot more flexible. On the drop-down menu here, you've got 5 options up here, and you can't scroll through these. You've only got these 5. You can't change them unless you root the phone. You've got sound, you've got Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, data traffic, and a shortcut into your settings. I just cleared my notifications and it'll automatically pop that back up once you've done that. So the home screen is very nice. It has a Bravia graphics accelerator, which makes every image look a lot sharper, a lot nicer. Some people have expressed preference for this type of screen over the AMOLED screens of Samsung because those are too vivid. They seem like a little too unrealistic for them. I feel like that might just be someone complaining because they can't afford an AMOLED screen. But when you look at a screen like this, it really, this camera I'm recording this with doesn't do it justice. It's a great picture. It's a great quality image. Also, the background does scroll along, and that might be why it only goes one direction. On Samsung phones, you can scroll in a circle, in a continuous cycle. Down here, you've got 4 options, as well as the application menu. So application menu, standard with every Android. But down here, you can modify what you keep down here. So I've got WhatsApp, messaging, contacts, and the phone function. Now, another great thing about this phone that Sony did very well in terms of their design is that when you're at the lock screen, so in addition to the drag to the right, you can get to your home page, drag to the left, you can get the camera, you can actually, from you can actually drag this time around. So you can see here, maybe not, that you've got the time. So for me, it's 1:34, Saturday, October 20th. If you swipe to the right, you get a shortcut to the Walkman application. And the Walkman application comes standard on the Xperias because Sony owns the Walkman brand. So the Walkman brand, I didn't expect too much before I got it. It looks something like that. It's transparent, fits in very well with the rest of the theme of the phone. I downloaded Winamp as soon as I got the phone, mostly just because I don't trust standard applications that come native with devices. But this app actually works very well. For music lovers, it plays FLAC right out of the box. You don't need to do anything, so you get high quality, lossless music support. One thing also that I didn't like, well, there's the inability to keep scrolling, it just bounces back. Also, there's the orientation lock, as I mentioned. But yeah, this is all around a very good phone in my opinion. I'm glad I bought it. The S3 compared to this has two buttons down here, the volume rocker, and so if you hold it in landscape position and you want to be typing with two fingers, you're going to end up whacking these and just adjusting the volume by accident, which is really annoying. But on this one, that's not so much a problem. And that actually, just the buttons was a good enough reason for me to consider buying a phone other than the S3. But yeah, this is the Xperia TX. If you have any questions or if there's any specifics about the phone you'd like to know, just drop a comment. I'm not particularly good at replying, but I'll try. Just one caveat about the phone. Probably its biggest drawback is the battery life. So partly because it's a TFT screen, maybe, the battery life isn't so great. So back here you can see that that's a battery. It's a gigantic battery. That battery itself actually, I think, weighs more than the phone. This battery, after your first full charge, it'll last you about a whole day. But having been using other phones that aren't Android, that aren't iOS, I'm pretty used to my phone lasting a bit longer than that. So a lot of companies will package you an extra battery and an external charger. But I didn't get that because I got a bad deal. But here you've got a micro SD slot, supports up to I think 64 gigabytes. You can go to gsmarena.com and check that, and you've got the SIM card right there. If you want details on which bands that this phone supports, I believe it's quad band GSM and also quad band HSDPA. You can check on that also using GSM Arena. And this cover basically just clips on, click, click, and you can buy covers for it already. Covers are very cheap. Do not pay more than $4 for a cover. You're getting ripped off. Then again, you're paying several hundred for the phone. One thing I forgot to mention. The audio input is at the top. So you can have this in your pocket, listen to music at the same time. It's uncovered, but so is the iPhone, so it's not a big deal. The headphones that come default with it don't have a volume rocker like the Samsung ones do. So on the Samsung ones, which are what I have right here, you've got the answering key, and you've also got volume up, volume down. On the Sony one, you've only got answer and hang up. But yeah, this is the Xperia TX, and hope you didn't mind watching this video too much. Alright, good night.